Today's practice is called Becoming Real, and it comes from one of my very favorite quotes from the Velveteen Rabbit, which I'll share with you guys later. So it's a very famous quote, but something else kind of came across my path, and it was a yoga philosophy topic of asmita. Some of you might have heard that word before, but it relates to kind of what we call the false self, the ego self, and all the things that we identify with, like, oh, I'm a yoga teacher, and oh, I'm, a female, or I'm a mom, all these things that we identify with. Not that there's anything wrong with those identifications, but in the yoga philosophies, it kind of encourages us not to get so attached to those labels, because those are things that can change, right? So if I lose my ability to teach yoga, I will suffer dearly. But I have to remember that that's a changing part of life, and that could happen. And someday, maybe when I'm 70 years old, I might stop doing that. And, I'm still me, right? So it's just the whole idea of becoming the real part of ourselves, which is unchanging. So I'll read to you guys while we're in our first restorative posture some of the yoga philosophy piece, and then at the end, I'll share the Velveteen Rabbit quote as well. So we're going to be kind of more of a relaxing practice today. We're going to do a restorative, we're going to do a little somatic work, and then we'll do a flow that we're going to kind of weave in some child's pose and a little bit of balance as well. So that'll be kind of our flavor, and we're going to end with a supported child's pose as well. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to plug in the mic in a moment and so show you guys the setup for this supported fish that we're going to start in. Okay. So everybody's muted if you guys want to get your music ready. And I can't hear you now, but just let me know. Can you guys just keep a wave? Can you still hear me? Thank you. Okay. All right, so I'm playing with this sound. I hope it's going to get better. I'm going to try some new earbuds after Christmas to see if they work. But for now, I'm just going to use the mic. So we're going to start in a supported fish. So this is going to be underneath kind of the backs of your shoulder blades. So something that could be a bolster size item. So that might mean, folded up pillows or sofa cushion. If you have a yoga bolster, that's perfect. If you have one of the big yoga bolsters, it might be too much. And I just want to say that it is early in the practice, so this is a little bit of a back bend. If it's too much for you, skip the bolster and use a trifold blanket instead. And then on the other side of the bolster, I have a block, and I put a blanket on top of it. Okay, you might need to kind of build that up or down depending on your body proportion. So I'm on the shorter side, so for me, I got to build it up a little bit. I do want to have your chest open and your head slightly back, so it's a supported fish. Okay, and then a folded blanket or something under your knees would probably be lovely as well. Okay, so we're going to scoot back and put the arms in between the bolster and the block setup so that you have this really openness in the heart space. And then the head is supported by that block bolster, block blanket setup. So that's going to be our opening position. And I'm going to give you guys a moment to set that up. Battery 70%. That's all right, so I chose this particular pose because I really feel like when we open up the heart space and the throat chakra, these are sort of places where we, hold on, I just have to do an adjustment quick here. There we go. These are places where we kind of are speaking from our authenticity, right? So we speak from our heart. Or, our throat chakra is said to be where we can speak our truth. So that's the reason I chose this particular pose. So make any last minute adjustments to make sure that you are comfortable. If it's too much, go ahead and change it up to where it feels good for you. Come into a nice soft breath. And start to allow yourself to settle here now initially into this first pose of your practice. So I have this yoga philosophy that I'll share with you. And this was right from Yoga Journal. So sometimes translated as ego, asmita, is one of the afflictions of the mind, outlined in the Yoga Sutras. Asmita happens when you identify with the parts of yourself that changed, as I mentioned earlier, your appearance, your job title. Instead of identifying with the quiet place within you that does not change. When you mistakenly believe that how you look or feel or what you do for a living has something to do with who you are and that these things define you, instead of recognizing that your true self, who you are at your core, is unchanging. So it's thinking of it as the seer. So the mind is something that we can think of as sort of a computer, right? It downloads things from our environment from the time we are little, right? We download the beliefs of our family, education, we download beliefs that commercials tell us, advertisements tell us, maybe we're not beautiful enough, all those kinds of things, right? So through that lens of the mind is the seer seeing outward. And that seer is that unchanging part of the self. It's your true essence. And yoga teaches that this essence remains stable no matter what happens around you or to you, and even whether or not you feel connected to it or far removed from it. The challenge is that while it's great to appreciate and value all these different aspects of ourselves, if we identify too closely with the changeable aspects, the Yoga Sutras tell us that we set ourselves up for disappointment and suffering. When change comes, you may feel uncomfortable, cast adrift. But enjoying these transitory aspects of our body is part of the beauty and richness of being alive. These aspects of yourself are an important part of who you are, but they're just not all of who you are. If you can recognize that there's something deeper within you that is unchanging, your true, authentic self, and if you can connect and identify with that part of yourself, which is so much more than your appearance and your achievements, you are likely to be less bothered by physical changes or any other changes that are beyond your control. The key to self-acceptance is that the more connected you are with the unchanging self, the less you suffer from those inevitable changes of the non-self. This ability to discern what is your true self and what is not, to connect with what is true, and to act as often as possible from that quiet, knowing place is the key to feeling better as a result of your yoga practice. There's another little quote, I'm just going to finish with this, from T.K.V. Desikachar. Yoga is relationship. And as we reflect on the many layers and meanings of this definition over the years, we can come to appreciate, in fact, the most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself, with a capital S. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths here. Feeling that openness through the heart, through the throat space. And after those 3 breath cycles, go ahead and take your time. And we're going to come down off of those props. So you could maybe bend your knees, roll to your side. Really take your time. not to rush out of it. Maybe you have a little pause on your side. And then when you feel ready, we're going to clear the mat and put a blanket down on the mat for our somatic work. So finding a blanket that is going to be about the size of your mat. If you have a yoga blanket, they do tend to work best because they're a little heavier and not as slippery as bed blankets that we might have around the house. So go ahead and put that down the length of your mat. And when you are ready, just go ahead and come on your back and we're going to settle in for a few breaths. We'll turn the palms up, and if it's comfortable, let your legs go out straight. Take 3 soft breaths here, just to settle into this new orientation completely on your back now. Breathing softly in the belly. And after those 3 cycles of breath, go ahead and come into a full body stretch. Now, on your inhale, we're going to do our up slip, down slip. You guys have done this with me before, but we're going to change it up today. We're going to inhale for about 4 counts, and we're going to exhale for about 6 counts. So as you inhale, reach through your right arm and your right leg, right from the core of your body, counting to 4. And then as you exhale, release it, counting to 6. So it's a very slow release. And then do that on the other side. Inhale from the left side, 1, 2, 3, 4, lengthening. And then soften. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So go ahead on your own. And I know it might be challenging to go that slow initially here in our practice. So if you need to change the numbers, you could always change them a little bit. You could maybe do 3 and 5. Just starting to slow ourselves down so we can be more present for practice today. You might close your eyes, take that inner focus. As you reach through the arm and the leg, notice the opposite side shortening. Try to feel like you're reaching from the hip joint, the shoulder joint, the lengthening from deep in your belly. One more time on each side. And after you finish, go ahead and let your arms come down and just take a pause. We're going to take our arms out to a T now. And we're going to bend the right knee. So this one is called unwinding, but we're going to add a variation today that's new, that I haven't taught before. Take your legs a little bit wider apart. And what we're going to do, start out with just the normal unwinding. We're going to take the right knee, drop it over to the left, and look over your right shoulder, push into the inner edge of your foot, and let the top, that right shoulder roll down a little bit toward your foot. And slowly release back to the start. Okay, do that a few times. And we're going to do that same inhale for 4. And exhale for 6. Go ahead and do one more like that. And then pause. I'm going to show you the next variation in a moment. So what we're going to do is try to move the rib cage a little bit. So I'm going to take my left hand across the body to my lower rib cage. Now, as I drop that right knee over to the left, I'm going to use my left hand to pull the rib cage over to the left as I look to the right and reach through that right arm. So use your hand to pull and lift your rib cage. And then soften it back to the start. 2 more in this hand position, then we're going to move the hand up to the middle and then high. So inhale, push off the foot, pull your rib cage, let the right shoulder roll down, get a little more back bend, and then release. One more time in this position. Reach through that right arm to get that nice opening across the chest. And now move your hand up to your middle rib cage 3 times, middle ribs. So when I give a little bit of release into the area of the rib cage, this can really help our breath. Especially if we're pulling on the tissue of the back ribs a bit, where more of our lung tissue is. More of it's in the back than in the front. After your 3rd round, we're going to move the hand up 1 more position. It's going to be close to your armpit, right above kind of the breast tissue, so you can get kind of a hold behind the back of the shoulder blade even, like not the shoulder blade, but the back of the arm there. And then repeat. Reach through the arm at the same time, push into that foot, arch your back. And release. 2 more like this. Move on and inhale, 4 counts. Release on an exhale, 6 counts. I know there's a lot to remember. Do the best you can. And now after that 3rd one, go ahead and pause. Let everything slide out and just feel into that right side. Couple moments, couple breaths there. Just feel how more present that right side is. Maybe it's more grounded. All right, we're going to try that on the other side. So we're going to bend the left knee, keep the right leg out. Right? Make sure there's a little space between your legs. First 3 rounds, no rib cage hold, just do the initial movement. So push in your left foot, look over your left shoulder. Let that left shoulder pull down. Looks like you're going to rotate through your arm. And release. Inhale for 4 as you come into the movement. Exhale for 6. One more time. And then pause. Okay, right hand is going to come across your body. Hold on to the lower side of your ribs. As you come into that same movement, pull the rib cage over to the right. Look to your left. Roll the shoulder under towards your foot. Back to the start. 2 more in this position. One more time. After you finish that one, take your time, move your hand to the middle of your rib cage. And 3 more rounds. Remember to reach through the left arm even as you pull on the rib cage tissue. Nice slow exhalation. One more time. And then we're going to move our hand up to the upper rib cage, kind of right behind the shoulder arm area there, close to the armpit. And last 3 rounds. Last one, take your time. And then when you finish that side, let it all go, arms out, legs out. Take a moment, pause. So I love the somatic work for helping to start to release tension in the fascia and the tissues. It's one of the ways that we can identify false sleep, identify with our pain. Like, I am my pain. So that's why I wanted to do a little somatic today. Let's bend the knees, roll to our side. And we'll come right up into tabletop position. You could keep your blanket there for now. And we'll go right into our cat-cows from here. So take an inhale and exhale. When you're ready, round your spine. Inhale and arch, looking up. Sit bones, gaze lifts. Exhale, round. All right, 3 more cycles here of your cat-cows. And peel a layer. After your 3rd round, go ahead and move yourself back to your first child's pose. There's going to be several today. Take a couple of breaths here. So I wanted to do some child's pose versions today as well in the sequence because it's that kind of childlike wonder that helps us remember all the things that we are not. Sort of this return to innocence idea. It also really folds us in on ourselves. Take one more breath there. And then when you're ready, if you still have a blanket down, we're going to take that off and we'll get moving for a bit. So we'll find downward facing dog once you have your mat cleared. Spread out nice and wide for your palms. Lift those hips nice and high. And we're just going to take time, pedal it out. And let's see if we can keep a flavor of our somatic work as we come into our flow. So can you stay really soft in your awareness? Can you stay very present? Can you keep the movement slow, mindful? Come into stillness in your dog. Lift your hips up nice and high, chest toward your thighs, inner thighs moving back. And then slowly rolling forward into a plank. Take a couple cycles, dog to plank. keeping that somatic flavor. One more on your own. Holding your dog for one more breath now. And when you're ready, let's walk feet forward, top of the mat. As you inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, just a nice soft folding. It's really gentle on your spine. Keeping those knees a little bent. 2 more rounds. Inhale halfway. Exhale, softly fold. One more time. And let's go ahead, inhale, reach the arms all the way up this time. And exhale, drawing your hands to your heart. Okay, let's take a couple Surya Namaskars to kind of keep the energy moving. So let's keep that slowness, that somatic flavor to your sun cells. So when you're ready, inhaling, reaching the arms up. Exhale in that soft fold, little bend in those knees. Inhale, heart forward, try not to lift your chin so much. And step back, plank. Slowly lower down. Go ahead, inhale, cobra, shoulders back. We'll do a few cobras here. Let's take a couple rounds. Feeling and sensing into your breath, into your body. Moving slow. One more. Now, before we come to dog, press to table, back to child with toes tucked under. And then lift up, downward facing dog. So we'll weave in those child's poses. Eventually, we're going to take variations. Walk the feet forward when you are ready. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to your heart. Let's do another round. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Step back, plank pose. Cobra or your up dog, your choice. Just one time. Back to child's pose with toes tucked. Downward facing dog. Inhale here. As you exhale, go ahead, walk it forward. You can jump if you like, but I'm just going to suggest today that you walk. It's a little softer. When you're ready, rising up. Hands to heart. Good. Pausing here. Palms pressed together, tailbone down. Crown of the head extending upward. And then let's inhale, lift the heels, lift those palms overhead. Coming into a little balance. And then lower, hands to heart, heels down. Just a couple more like that. So we're going to be weaving in balance in between our flows. I feel like there's nothing like balance to keep ego in check, since we're talking about asmita. Balance is very humbling. We have to go light on ourselves when it comes to holding our balance. Let's hold it this time. Heels up, palms up. Draw the palms to the midline, ankles to the midline, inner thighs. And reach as long as you can. Keep breathing. One more here. And then heels down, fold forward over your knees. Inhale for your halfway lift. You can take vinyasa. You can also step to dog if you prefer. Cobra or your upward facing dog. Now we're going to inhale your right leg straight up behind you. Step it through, and we're going to come into warrior two. Hold your warrior two for a few breaths. Grounding through your heels, lift your chest. Reach out wide for your arms. Stay really present for your breath, for sensations in your body. Really soft through your face, through your gaze. One more breath. And then on your next inhalation, we're going to straighten the front leg. Tip your pelvis toward the back foot. Reach forward and down, triangle pose. So holding a little bit longer today, staying stable, grounded. Externally rotate bottom arm. Reach high through top arm, open wide through that chest area. Maybe gazing down at the front foot or maybe gazing up at the top palm. See what feels right for you today. Holding here, one more breath. And then rising back up, warrior two. Good. Cartwheel your hands down, spin onto the ball of your back foot, drop onto your back knee. And then inhale, reach those arms up. As you exhale, hands down to the ground, blocks if you need them, half Hanumanasana, straightening the front leg, hamstring stretch. Tip your sit bones back, heart forward, spin the elbow creases a little forward. Maybe fold in a little deeper. One more breath. From here, bending into that front knee, lift the back knee, step it forward, and fold over your legs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And pause here. One time, lift the heels, reach those palms up and overhead. Exhale, lower down. Pause here. On your next inhale, right knee lifts. Finding your balance here, draw your shoulders back and find that hugging to the midline action. So inner thighs draw in, palms draw in. And then let's bring that knee out to the side. External rotation, not in tree pose yet. See if we can lift that knee a little higher. Press again through your palms and your standing foot. Now see if we can take those arms and reach them overhead. That's it. We can let go of the attachment of the sticking that pose. Do the best you can. And then release. Foot down, palms down, pause. Other side. Let's bring that knee up. Hug to the midline, press palms. And then externally rotate. Try to lift that knee nice and high. And then if you're ready to, go ahead and take those arms and reach them up. Keep lifting that knee, pressing through the standing leg. And then release. Knee comes down, hands come down. Good. Second side, inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold over your legs. Okay, take your vinyasa or go right to dog, your choice. And let's find our warrior two, left foot forward. Holding your warrior two for a few moments. Gazing softly over the front fingers. Press your heels into the ground. And then find length through your spine, through the crown of your head. Even as you're holding here, can you find some of that somatic awareness? So feeling and sensing into your body, your breath, sensation. Next inhale, straightening that front leg, pelvis tips toward the back foot. Reach forward and down, triangle pose. So just go ahead and use the shin or the ankle, but don't lock out that knee. Externally rotate bottom arm. Reach up through the top arm. And then deciding on your gaze, you might gaze down, you might gaze up. Holding a few breaths. One more here. When you are ready, rising back up, warrior two. Good, cartwheel your hands down, sit onto the ball of your back foot. We're dropping that back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, hands down, shift back into that half Hanumanasana. So we're lifting the front toes, we're on the heel, pressing into that heel. Tip the sit bones back, heart forward. Maybe folding in a little bit. Good, shifting forward. Lift that back knee, step it forward. Folding over your legs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, finding that balance work again. So we're gonna lift that right knee. Take that leg out to the side. This time, right hand comes inside the knee, left hand to the heart. Press the hand and leg into each other and press your hand and heart into each other as you lift your chest. Good, and now bring that foot into tree. So either below, you can be on the floor, below your knee, or you can go above your knee if you like. And then both hands at the heart. Find that hugging to the midline action, tone your belly. Soft gaze. Maybe those arms come up. Turn the pinky fingers a little forward, spiraling the arms, and reach through those arms. One more breath. When you are ready, release arms, release legs, stand in mountain pose, and side two. So we're gonna lift that left knee, take it out to the side, hand comes inside the leg, other hand to the heart, and press. Keep the shoulders back, crown of the head extending, rooting into your standing leg. And then finding your version of tree pose. Both hands to the heart. A little firming of those outer hips. Stay soft in your awareness, soft in your gaze. Maybe those arms come up. Spiral those pinkies a little forward, wrapping the shoulder blades and lift through the arms. Last breath. Good, and then release. Coming back to your mountain pose. Good, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, folding over your legs. Inhale to your halfway lift. Step back, down dog, or take your vinyasa. So we'll all meet in down dog. And then knees down to the ground. Come into child's pose. And we're going to walk both hands over to the right side. Move your belly onto your right thigh. Keep walking, keep walking. And then stack your left palm on your right palm. You might even clasp those hands. Pull the hips back and let your head come in between your arms. Left side dips down a bit. And breathe into that left side. Walking it through center and over to your other side. Keep walking, keep walking. Side comes toward, belly comes toward your thigh. And then stacking your right palm on top, maybe clasp the hands. Pull your hips back and let your head come in between your arms. Breathing into that right side for a few rounds. Last breath. Make your way back through the center and back up, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up. Step through warrior two. Good. Inhale right into triangle. Straighten that front leg. Reach forward. This time, top arm up and over your ear. Spiral that pinky and lengthen. Bottom arm spirals open. Hips are pulling back away from that front foot. As you anchor into your back leg, can you reach more through your top arm, right from behind your shoulder blade? One more breath. Next inhale, rising back up, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, reverse your triangle. Top arm reaches high, deepen that shoulder blade. And warrior two, cartwheel down, back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down, half Hanuman or sit back on the back heel. Or you can even sit inside of it if you want to go deeper here. Stick with half Hanuman if this is too much on your front knee or on your back knee. Inhale, lift your chest. Some of you might fold forward here. Think about pulling your sit bones back and your heart forward. Find that softness, awareness, breath. All right, slowly walking it forward if you're back in that sit. Step forward, folding over your legs. Inhale, half leg. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands to your heart. Just checking time. Okay. All right, standing on that left leg. Let's bring hands to the heart. Bring that right knee up again. Pause. And then hand to the inside of that leg. Other hand to the heart again. Root through your standing leg, shoulders back, and let's extend that leg out to the side and bend a few times. Good, and then see if you can hold it out straight. Hold it out straight. Maybe both hands to the heart. Using that hip flexor. Good, rebend and release. Pause. Other side, hands to the heart, lift that knee. Take the leg out to the side, one hand to the heart, one hand inside the leg. Shoulders back, and then bend and straighten a few times. Hold it if you can. Doesn't have to be all the way straight. Standing leg roots down. And release. Inhale, reach the arms out. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, vinyasa, or right to your dog. Good, knees down to the floor. Another version of our child's pose. Walk it over to your right. Keep walking. Now this time we're going to add a little thread the needle component. I like to have the knees nice and wide for myself. Left arm is going to thread under the right arm. See if you can get the head to the ground. If not, you can put your right hand under your head, or you could pull in a prop. So it's like thread the needle, but in child's pose. If your head is comfortably on the floor, you could also do a wrap of your top arm. Let's hold and breathe. Slowly release back to the center, and then walk it over to your other side. So keep walking, and then right arm threads under the left arm. Head comes down either to the floor or find a prop or use your opposite hand. Maybe some of you wrapping the top arm. We've got about 2 or 3 more breaths there. Just feel and sense into your body. We get so caught up in our thoughts and we think that they are real. But our thoughts are often coming from outside. Someone telling us what to think, what to feel. Advertising world's really powerful at convincing us of different things about ourselves. Feel into what's real for you in this moment. All right, back to the center, release. Find your down dog in your own time. And we'll do that sequence on the other side. When you're ready, inhale left leg, step it through, warrior 2. Triangle pose as you are ready. Top arm reaches up and over your ear. If you like that variation, spinning that pinky finger down. Bottom arm spirals open. Keep pulling the hips toward the back foot and then reach through that top arm from deep in the shoulder blade. Next inhalation, rise back up, warrior two. And then reverse triangle, straighten the front leg, reach back. Try to find that reach from deep in the shoulder blade to lift that top arm. You'll get a bigger stretch to the psoas, the belly. Back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down, back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Half Hanuman or sit back onto your heel. You want to go deeper. Always listen to your body, spread your toes. Some of you are going to stay where you are, or you might hinge at your hip creases and come into a fold. Once you're in your fold, sit bones back, heart forward, and let the chin come in a little bit. Watch out for hyperextension in the straight leg knee. All right, slowly starting to shift forward, back into your lunge, lift your back knee, and we'll step it forward. Folding over your legs. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, we're going to grab our strap. I think most of you guys know where we're going with this sequence. We're going to work on Untitled, which is a standing balance pose that we've prepped for this whole time. Some of you might not need the strap if your arms and legs are the right proportions, but grab it if you're not sure. Okay. So we're going to stand on that right leg, and we're going to bring the strap around the left foot. And then we're going to see if we can reach low and hold as close to the foot as we can. We'll start there. Standing leg roots down and send that thigh bone back so you feel heavy on your heel. Shoulders back, open the chest, and then we're going to start to externally rotate that lifted leg. Take it out to the side. You can always stay right here. Or some of you are going to be able to extend that leg out to the side. Maybe your opposite arm comes out to the side. Really ground through that heel, lift your chest. Externally rotate that standing leg a little bit, as well as your shoulders. That'll keep you buoyant. Holding another breath. And when you're ready, slowly release. Good. Take a moment, shake it out. And then let's go for the other side when you are ready. Foot down into the strap. And reach down. Hold as close to the foot as you can. Those of you who've got that right proportions, you can even hold your foot or your big toe. But sometimes it's nice just to use the strap. We don't have to struggle so much. And then either hand on the hip or you can take it out to the side. Start to externally rotate. Keep the shoulders back. Maybe we're going to extend that leg out. Woo. Finding your balance. Once you get it, see if you can stick it by rooting into the heel Externally rotate the shoulders and even that lifted leg a bit. Reach out wide through the arms. Standing thigh bone roots back a bit so you're heavy on your heel. Nice job, guys. Slowly release. Set that strap to the side. Shake it out. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bending those knees, fold, and let's hang in Uttanasana for a bit. You can grab elbows, big toes, hands under feet. Whatever feels right for you, just stretch it out a moment. And take a sway if that's feeling good for you, depending on where you're at in this pose. Finding a nice deep release in your spine, in the back of your skull. Stronger you feel in your legs as they root down, you might feel a little more release through your spine. Last breath here. And then go ahead, place your hands down, step your feet back, knees down, one more child's pose here. And this time I'm going to recommend the Snuggly child's pose, one of my faves, but if you don't like it, feel free to take another version. It's where we slide our hands back to grab our feet. So you might need to put one hand in, let your head come down, and then slide the other hand back. See if you can grab your feet, turn your head to one side. Now if that's too kind of congested for your body, then take another version. And nice couple of breaths here. You might need something under your head if that feels better for you, maybe a blanket. But anytime you want, go ahead and release one hand, turn your head, and then come back into it. You start to feel a kink in your neck. All right, slowly let's come out, take your time. Coming up, and we're going to go into a restorative child's pose. And this is a different version I've not taught before. Some of you might like it, some of you might prefer to do a regular supported child's pose. I'll give you options. So we're going to need your bolster, whatever you're using for a bolster. So that could mean a couple pillows. And then you're going to need one block in front of your bolster. Maybe with a pillow or a blanket on it. If you are on the taller side, you might also want a trifold blanket behind you. So you might just set that there just in case. So we're going to be doing our child's pose on top of the bolster. It's a very kind of cozy feeling, which I like for wintertime. So I'm going to show you guys this version. And if you don't like it, you're welcome to do a different version, like when you just hug the bolster. Most of you guys know that version, but I'll show it then. So the feet are kind of hanging right off the edge. The knees are together. Ideally, we kind of strap ourselves in here, but that's going to take a while. So you could strap your shins together. But I think we're okay with that. And then we're going to come down and have that block under the forehead, so that your nose is in between the bolster and the block, so it gives you room to breathe. And your hands can kind of slide underneath the blanket next to the block. So that's option A. If you are not feeling good in that position, option B is to put your bolster up on the block. Maybe a blanket under your knees and you just come down and hug the bolster this way. So I'll give that as a second option. But I really kind of like this snuggly, another kind of snuggly version of child's pose. Let's stay for a few more moments in this version. See if you can send breath into your back body here, relaxing the kidneys, adrenals. Last few breaths. All right, let's slowly start to come up. Please move in slow motion. And we'll come off of those props. And let's sit on one folded blanket or pillow, whatever you've got. And we're going to take the legs out wide into a straddle position. Toes facing up, kneecaps facing up. And then we'll use the bolster for a supported forward fold. So we have some options here depending on your flexibility. Some of you might put the bolster on an angle and just put your forehead on it. So that's kind of the most mild version. If you want to go deeper, kind of an intermediate version would be bolster on a block. And then you could hug the bolster. That's snuggly feeling again. Those of you who are going even further might put the bolster flat and then come down. So again, just kind of being where it feels best in your body, not feeling like you've got to force a pose, because then we're bringing in that kind of ego mind again. So what would help you feel most comfortable here so that you have the opportunity to let go? Finding a very soft breath. Staying present. Staying soft in your awareness. See if you are softening your body from the inside out. We've got one more minute. We're staying a little longer. Last couple of breaths. All right, so very, very slowly in your own time, slow motion exit. Lock yourself up. Try not to yank on those back muscles. And pause when you get to the top for just a moment. Okay, so from here, we'll come toward our back for Shavasana. So you can set up a restorative Shavasana since you've got a lot of props today. You might want to take a moment for a happy baby or a knee hug, if that would feel good for you. We just already did that child's pose, which is kind of a knee hug, so you don't have to. But if you feel like your practice wouldn't be complete, do what you need to do. And then I'm going to show a setup. You can do anything you like, but I have a bolster on a block and a blanket up here for the head. And then if you have that second blanket, it could either go under your knees or maybe you want to cover up today for that snuggly feeling. Those of you who have maybe some weighted objects could put some weight on your body. That might feel nice as well. We'll find Shavasana when you are ready. So I'm going to give you guys a few moments to settle because some of you are still taking some happy babies and things. So take your time to fully arrive for Shavasana. Just noticed there's some song on the playlist that I did not mean to be there. I very apologize for that. So if you got to that song, you might want to just pass it over because it was not meant to be at the end of the, I didn't realize that was there. So hopefully you change that before you relaxed. So take your time. Come back to that somatic awareness. Letting your body settle, letting your tissues settle. Dropping in deeply. I always find that when I get to the end of practice, I do feel more connected to that self with the capital S, that true part of the self, beyond our conditioning, beyond our ego mind, to that unchanging soul part of the self. So moment by moment, as if you're shedding layers, let go of another layer of tension, and another, till you feel like you've exposed that soft center. Noticing the pulsation, the vibration, the energy of that soft center. So as you start to drift into Shavasana, I'll share this little quote from the Velveteen Rabbit. Real isn't how you are made. It's a thing that happens to you. Sometimes it hurts, but when you are real, you don't mind being hurt. It doesn't happen all at once. You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily or have sharp edges or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real,
most of your hair has been loved off, and your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. Once you are real, you can't become unreal again. It lasts for always. So in the yoga tradition, it's said that we are under a kind of illusion or spell that causes us to forget that true aspect of the self. And sometimes we've got to weather the storms of life and have our hair worn off and our eyes falling out, all those battle wounds, before we can touch into that real aspect of ourselves, which to me gives meaning to all of the traumas of my own life, as they've all led me to where I am now. Let's take a few more minutes being here in Shavasana with this soft self. And we'll take our time now to come back to awareness, noticing how you feel in this moment, how much you have become real in this practice. Invite in very slow motion movement. Take all the time you need. Come to your side for a brief pause when you are ready before coming up to a seated posture. So take your time. We'll all sit for a few minutes. So when you're ready to, you're going to find a tall seat. Maybe use a meditation cushion or pillow. So as soon as you arrive there, dropping into your seated meditation. Finding a soft breath into your belly, into your side ribs, your back ribs. Soft face, soft eyes. Soft shoulders. Dropping out of the thinking mind and focusing on awareness in your body. Sensations of the breath. Feeling of the ground beneath you. So meditation can take us to that place beyond all of that thought, all of those downloads in our brain. To that pure aspect of ourselves. Alright, let's go ahead, bring hands together now in front of the heart space. Take a nice inhale of the heart to lift from the inside. Bring the head to meet the heart and the hands, bowing inward. Namaste.